So, the reason we did that is because when we have a quadratic expression, instead of trying to solve this craziness for 0 by doing a whole bunch of guessing or whatever we might try to do, is that if we can put it in factored form like the previous ones, then we can solve them and find the answers. So we're going to start out by saying, okay, it is equal to 0. That's the first key. Then we can factor. So we put our two sets of parentheses. Factors u squared, u and u. The end is a positive, so both signs have to be the same as the middle, negative and a negative. Factors of 6 that add up to 5. Well, 1 and 6 don't add up to 5, but 2 and 3 do. So a negative 2 and a negative 3 add up to my negative 5 in the middle. It's equal to 0. Now I can say, oh, then the u minus 2 has to equal 0, or the u minus 3 has to equal 0. So solving that, I would add 2 and get an answer of u equals 2. Add 3, so 3 would be my other answer. What does that mean? If I put these numbers in for the u and solve it, I should get the 0. So if I did 2 squared minus 5 times 2 plus 6. 2 squared is 4. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10 plus 6. Excuse me. Negative 4 minus 10 would be negative 6, and a negative 6 plus 6, sure enough, is 0. If I check the other answer, the 3, I would say, oh, 3 squared minus 5 times 3 plus 6. 3 squared is 9. Minus 5 times 3 is minus 15 plus 6. Excuse me. 9 minus 15 is negative 6. And a negative 6 plus 6, sure enough, is 0. And these are the only two numbers that you can plug in and get 0. If you try anything other than those two numbers, you're not going to get an answer of 0. So number 11, we're doing the same kind of thing. I'm going to get a quick drink here. We want to solve this equation. It is a quadratic expression, which means it has a squared term. It is set equal to 0, so we can solve by factoring it out. Factors of y squared, y and y. The end is a positive, so both signs have to be the same as the middle, a plus and a plus. Factors of 3. Well, there's not a whole lot of choices. 1 and 3. A positive 1 and a positive 3 add up to the 4 in the middle. So either y plus 1 equals 0 or y plus 3 equals 0. Solving those, we're just moving our number to the other side. So I'm going to minus 1 and minus 3. So y would equal negative 1 or negative 3 for my answers. And again, you could substitute them in and see, do I really get 0? I bet you do. Number 12. Again, I'm solving it for x. I have a quadratic expression. It is set equal to 0. So I'm going to solve by factoring. Factors of x squared, x and x. Since the end is negative, I have to have 1 plus and 1 minus, one of each. Positive times a negative is a negative. Factors of 3. 1 and 3, but here it'll make a difference. I want to end up with a positive 2, which means my bigger number has to be positive. A positive 3 minus a 1 gives me positive 2 in the middle, and that's equal to 0. So either the x plus 3 equals 0 or the x minus 1 equals 0. I have to finish and solve those by moving my numbers over. So in this one I'm going to minus my 3. On this one I'm going to plus my 1. So x is going to equal negative 3 or positive 1 for my two answers.